Welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. A big thank you for the support you are granting this platform. Those of you who want to support this platform beyond the normal subscription, there is a button there indicated join. Please click that button and follow the procedures. And in that, you shall have supported this platform. Let us build it together because it's a source of political information and other informations in Kenya. Information is very expensive. The greatest gift you can get as a human being is access to information. Access to information allows you to plan your activities, allows to plan how you will live, allows you and tells you where to avoid, where not to avoid. So access to information is very, very critical and very, very expensive to invest in. This is my own opinion, and in any way, I am not here to humiliate any government entity. I am giving this as a personal opinion from what I have witnessed. I can authoritatively say that in Kenya, our judicial system could be compromised. I look at how things are done and say, yes, we have no independent judiciary in Kenya that can sit and critically solve matters, including very sensitive political disputes. I am saying this with a lot of confidence, drawing my conclusion from the 2022 Supreme Election Petition and the latest judgment on regard the Gashawa's case. The two scenarios makes me convinced that our judicial system could be highly compromised. Not even the judicial system. Even the National Assembly and the Senate. There is a high possibility they are all compromised, or they could be compromised. Boni Khalwale is confirming something to us. Can we listen to him?
Ensure that the powers where we sit as a trial chamber that maybe do not please the people who practice in the courts should be removed from the institution of parliament so that it remains there preserved. Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with you that we must appeal. But Mr. Speaker, I have heard you. I want to request that you consider also factoring in the appeal what Justice, allow me to quote, what Justice Anthony Mrima said himself, without being prompted by the Council of the Senate. Mrima said, it must be emphasized that the Senate is not a mere conveyor belt for matters originating from the National Assembly or any other entity. He went on and added that it is a revered house vested with autonomy and empowered to make decisions by way of resolution, and therefore the Senate retains the discretion to determine whether to accept any motion or petition for further deliberation. He must be reminded that when he was thinking rationally, as I have quoted him, how was he expecting this Senate without any application from Senior Counsel Paul Mwite that his client had fallen ill? How without evidence, did he expect the Senate, with the kind of discretion that he has?
Rigathi Gashawa had a case in court. This case was determined and judgment was rendered. I don't want to look at 50 million as a figure. I want to look at 50 million as a right. So in this whole issue, I don't want you to look at 50 million as a figure, because as we said, that is pocket change for Rigathi. So that is why I could not wish for us to look at it from a figure perspective. Allow me to look at 50 million from a perspective of a right. The court rules and says the Senate went against Gashawa's rights to be heard by proceeding with the case while he was in the hospital. Due to that, it compels the Senate to award Gashawa 50 million Kenyan shillings. So it is a right. The 50 million is awarded as a right because of a right violated. Paka hapo tumeelewana. So even if Gashawa rejected the 50 million, personally, I look at it from an award given to compensate a right violated. So Gashawa receiving 50 million is not a point of question whether the Senate will pay or not. It is a right that the Senate must pay because it's a right. Now, when this is a right, listening to the bullfighter Bonny Khalwale argues that Gashawa has no right to receive the 50 million because he believes the Senate never went against any of the Gashawa's rights to be heard as judged by the High Court. This means what? Khalwale says the Senate is going to appeal against the decision. Now, the Senate is classified under an independent government entity. The judiciary is also classified under independent government entity. So in this case, the two independent government entities are now fighting. The judiciary says, give Gashawa 50 million. The Senate says, we can't listen to such nonsense. So, where do we stand as a people of the Republic of Kenya if the Senate itself cannot respect and honor a court order? Because the 50 million compensation is a court order to the Senate. So if the Senate has ignored the court order to give Gashawa 50 million, even if we said it doesn't want them, where do we stand as a people of the Republic of Kenya? William Ruto recently refused to honor a court order stopping temporarily the setting up of an Ebola quarantine facility. William Ruto is classified under executive, and the executive is an independent government institution. We have the executive, we have the executive, the judiciary, and the National Assembly, which carries the Senate and the National Assembly. 3 arms of government. So, 2 arms of government have refused to honor a court order. That is the executive and the Senate. So the question is, where do we stand as a people of the Republic of Kenya? we have a problem. It means the Senate is above the law. It cannot honor a court order. The executive is above the law. It refused to honor a court order. So where do we stand as a people of the Republic of Kenya? Kaka, why should I be taken to court and honor the orders from that court if the executive and the National Assembly cannot respect court orders? We have a problem. We have a constitutional crisis that need to be worked on. God bless you. See you in the next episode. Asanteni sana.